I want to tell you a little story about our friend in Wisconsin, Republican Governor Scott Walker. First, Scott Walker got into office in Wisconsin, and he said, I promise to create 250,000 new jobs. Then, instead of creating jobs, he started fighting unions and teachers to reduce their ability to negotiate collectively for benefits and salaries. That really didn't go too well. It led to tons of huge protests, a recall election, which he narrowly escaped leaving office after. And then, to prove that he can create jobs, just a couple of weeks ago, he featured and stood on stage with a convicted felon sex offender who got a new job and was only unemployed because of the fact that he had multiple felonies to his name. Okay, that was all pretty embarrassing for Scott Walker. It now turns out that Scott Walker appears to be under an investigation. He is the apparent subject of this investigation, which we're learning about through some newly unsealed court documents and media leaks, which are suggesting that it is in fact Scott Walker's campaign that is at the center of a wide-ranging secret probe into campaign finance violations during his 2011 and 2012 recall elections. This is called a John Doe probe. And a John Doe, it's similar to a grand jury, except it's in front of a judge instead of in front of a grand jury. And the idea is that the contents and the individuals involved are kept secret. And the John Doe probe started in August of 2012, and it was looking at illegal campaign coordination between blank, in other words, the name was redacted, a campaign committee, and certain special interest groups. Don't worry, the Koch brothers are involved with some of those special interest groups. And now Daniel Bice at the Journal Sentinel says why it looks like it is indeed Scott Walker's campaign that is involved here. He says, from the outset, the probe focused on possible illegal campaign coordination between a campaign committee, and certain special interest groups. The campaign committee that is under the microscope is almost certainly Friends of Scott Walker, which was his campaign committee. And then when a source familiar with the probe was asked, is it Friends of Scott Walker? The secret source said, good guess, that's it. Now, some others were reluctant to say that it was actually the Walker campaign, but one of the five suspects, there is a tax-exempt 501c4 social welfare nonprofit, the Wisconsin Club for Growth, which decided to out itself as one of the groups under investigation. That is a special interest group that also has ties to Scott Walker. So it's looking up and down like this is the Scott Walker campaign that is being investigated for illegal campaign finance violations, and we will have to wait and see. But, remember, Scott Walker is the guy who was busted in college for illegally campaigning in an election and then had to leave college. So that's not proof of anything, but a lot of things here are sounding, talking, and walking like a duck.
Right. I'm sure it's all true. Scott Walker is a total dirtbag, but this is all coming a little too late, isn't it? I mean, the damage has been done. He beat the hell out of Wisconsin, and the damage has been done. It's hard to reverse now, and this is just a little too late.
Typically, when these probes happen, the perpetrators usually don't actually have any kind of significant punishment. Sometimes there's fines, rarely jail time. However, it is yet another Republican now, in addition to soon Chris Christie, who is going to be off the table as untouchable for the 2016 election.
Yeah. And this is the type of investigating that needs to be done during the campaign, although I know that's difficult.
Yeah.
But, stop this at its source, right?
Absolutely. And like you said, it's tough to do it often during the campaigns because you need the records after they've been filed and then you start investigating it piece by piece.